When you picture a megacity, what comes to mind? Probably chaos, right? Noise, pressure, just a lot going on. But Singapore is different. It's a massive global hub, but it feels so controlled, so measured, almost impossibly efficient. And that feeling? It's absolutely not an accident. It is the result of decades of meticulous, top-down design.
And that's really the fundamental truth about Singapore. Behind all those gleaming glass towers and spotless streets is a society that has been engineered with the precision of a Swiss watch. And we're not just talking about clean streets here. We're talking about a core philosophy that shapes everything, from where you live to how you act in public.
So the big question is, how on earth did they pull this off? Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to peel back the layers, look right past the postcard image, and find the actual blueprint, the master plan that architects not just the city, but the very lives of the people in it.
Okay, so to really get Singapore, you have to start with its one big defining problem from day one: a severe lack of land. From its very beginning, just surviving meant they had to take a radical approach to planning. There was simply no room for the kind of random, organic growth you see in other cities.
I mean, think about it. Most cities just grow outwards. They sprawl, consuming the countryside. Singapore never ever had that luxury. It was an island city-state right from the start, so it was forced to innovate or, well, fail.
So if you can't go out, where do you go? You go up. High-density living wasn't just an option, it became the national default. And that decision didn't just create the city's iconic skyline, it fundamentally shaped the psychology of its people, teaching them how to live efficiently in close quarters.
But get this, when building up wasn't enough, they did something even more radical. They started building out into the sea. Through these massive land reclamation projects, Singapore has actually increased its land area by over 20%. They are literally manufacturing new ground to serve the nation's needs. So how is this level of control even possible? Well, it all comes down to a core principle. In Singapore, land isn't just real estate. It's a strategic national resource. The government controls the vast majority of it, and they allocate that space based on a meticulous master plan, where efficiency always trumps excess.
Okay, but this whole engineering mindset, it isn't just about physical space. If the city's layout is its hardware, then its approach to housing is the social software that's running on it. And believe me, it's just as deliberately designed.
Just think about this for a second. Something like 80% of Singaporeans live in public housing. But you've got to erase whatever image you have of grim, temporary projects. In Singapore, public housing isn't some last resort safety net. For most people, it's the foundation of a stable, middle-class life. And this is where you see the real genius of the system. Housing is used as a strategic tool to engineer the social fabric itself. They deliberately mix different income groups to prevent ghettos from forming, they manage how the population is spread out, and they plug every citizen directly into essential services. It is quite literally social infrastructure. So all this meticulous planning, the physical space, the social engineering, where does it all lead? Well, it all feeds into one thing: creating this ruthlessly efficient engine for the global economy. I mean, that's Singapore's brand, right? And this economic success, it's not an accident. It's the direct result of a very calculated formula. First, the state guarantees stability and enforces rules with an iron will. This predictability makes it a super safe haven for global capital. See, Singapore doesn't compete on size or natural resources. It competes on trust and absolute reliability. But, a system with this level of control and efficiency, it doesn't come for free. Every system has its trade-offs, and Singapore's are particularly clear. There is a price for all this order. This right here, this is the central bargain of Singaporean life. In exchange for what is near absolute safety, stability, and cleanliness, citizens accept a society with a lot more rules, more regulated public behavior, and pretty clear boundaries on personal expression. It's this constant, delicate balance between the collective good and individual freedom. And on top of that, it's really important to realize that this smooth functioning system relies on a strictly layered workforce. The experience of living in this highly ordered city is not the same for everyone. Citizens, permanent residents, and temporary foreign workers all live in vastly different tiers of this society, each with its own set of rights and its own reality. So what's next for a place like this? I mean, a system that's this finely tuned has to constantly adapt to new pressures. The architected state is already designing its next blueprint for the future.
And believe me, the challenges they're facing now are huge. An aging population is straining the workforce. Rising global inequality is creating all kinds of internal pressures. And for a low-lying island nation, climate change isn't some far-off problem. It's an existential threat. The formulas that brought all that success are now being seriously tested. But if there's one thing we know about Singapore, it's that its core ethos has always been about mastering the future, not just reacting to it. So the response to these problems won't be improvisation. It'll be a new master plan. The system is designed to anticipate, to calculate, and to engineer solutions decades in advance.
And that quote really captures the whole thing, doesn't it? Singapore is this powerful, real-world experiment in what's possible when a nation is run with the logic of a system, prioritizing function, efficiency, and long-term stability above pretty much everything else.
But in the end, it all comes down to one big question. A question every system, no matter how perfectly designed or efficient, has to answer. Who ultimately does it serve? What is the final purpose of all this control? That's the thought I want to leave you with.